Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Michelle Davis and Reverend Jeannie Suburns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time, and rebroadcast on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday morning. Sofa Sunday with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Does that mean you're not turned on? Test, test, test. Good morning. Try it. Mine's working. No, mine's not working. Is it not?
There you go. No,
Okay.
it's beeping, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
What does that mean?
Welcome.
Does it mean that it'll go off in the middle?
I have no idea what it means.
Okay. Hi, good morning.
You try
We don't
one
know.
new technological thing and then the other ones.
Right.
That's
So
it. So you want to do the mics just to make sure?
No.
Can you guys
because
hear us
I
on
can
the
hear
speaker?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear her.
I can't hear.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't hear
fine.
anything. So
It's
It's
fine.
as long as you
It's
guys are good, I'm
fine.
good.
So just so you guys know, was that really cool? Did you see our opening? Wow, wow,
I know,
wow.
I'm gonna fix
We are now on New Thought Media Network. So we'll be replayed on Monday nights on New Thought Media Network, as well as our normal Facebook, Instagram, and she's driving me around.
this.
here.
I've got to get us
Woo! Don't get
centered. It
scared.
drives me crazy when
Um,
I'm not centered.
As well as YouTube. So we just are so excited to be part of New Thought Media Network.
Yes, we are very happy
And
about that.
we will have a show that we kind of alluded to recently called Beyond the Sofa, where we'll be on New Thought Media Network, just kind of having conversations and guests. And
we don't talk enough.
right, we don't talk enough. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. We just don't talk enough.
So now we need another show. darn
That's
it.
right, because
Well, we want to touch it in the middle of the week.
Right. Right. That
Right?
that is the thing. We need to
Right.
touch it in the middle of the week because so many times we get filled up on Sunday and we feel, and we're going through the Real Love book study right now and talking about we're filled up with this
Right.
love, but then things happen and we get a little
Life.
drained and stuff, and we need another hit of that.
Right. Because
You
I would
know,
always say,
goodness.
get to Thursday, I'd be like, man, I got to get back. I can't wait for Sunday to get another hit so I can just keep. So we decided
Yeah.
we're going to hit you on Wednesday. So
Yeah,
you don't have
so-
to wait.
We're just going to be hitting our people. Yeah,
What?
yeah. This is spiritual, boxing here.
That's-
So there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't yet, if you'd like to, please bring your intention rocks up to the table so that
They're
we
over there.
have our intentions. We got some
Intention-
rocks over there.
intention for this time today.
Oh, and I didn't light our candles.
See, look.
I'm
at
a
that.
litning behind today. We were learning.
Hey,
We were
but that
learning
video
so
was
much.
cool. That
That-
played
that's
first.
right.
That's all that matters.
That's right. We were making things. So I'm going to have Michelle pray us in as we set the tone for this time together, knowing and affirming that everything that is perfect, whole, and complete is happening here now.
Take a deep breath with me and release it. Oh, that sounds good. Let's do that one more time. Coming into this moment to recognizing there's one power, one presence, one life. There's only one thing going on, and that is God. God is first cause. God is love. God is joy, peace. God is that connection we feel between each other. God is all there is. And each one of us is God in our own perfect, unique expression, vibrating our own way, connecting our own way with each other. We're each that love, that joy, that peace of God, manifested as each one of us. And from that truth of my knowing, I speak my word into the law, knowing that as I do, I set the law of God in motion for the highest and best for this time together today. I know that as we allow ourselves to release, let go of whatever has come before, and to also release and let go of anything coming after our time together, as we come into this space together, come into this moment and anchor in, I know that we receive what is ours to receive from our time together, from our laughter, from our sharing, from our ideas, from the topic today. I know that we receive what is ours. I know this time together is blessed and divinely guided. So I release it and let it go. And together we say,
So it is.
And
I was hanging out with Reverend Michelle yesterday, and
I should not hear you amplified at all, Michelle.
no,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
well, the AC just went on too.
But I mean,
So
I think I need to
take
expand the mics.
take a mic.
Check.
There
This is
you
much better. There we go.
All right. I want to say hello to our people online. Hi, Linda. Hi, Lori. Hi, Christine. Happy birthday, Christine. Today's Christine's big 60. And she wouldn't mind me telling you that because she's celebrating.
Who is this? Say
Christine
something.
Talk.
Oh, Christine.
Yes, it's her 60th birthday today, and she is celebrating in Bisbee, and we just want to give you so much love, so much love.
Bisbee? How cool is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, she's got a house out there,
I like
Yeah.
Bisbee.
and yeah, so there you go.
There it is.
And today's
I really
adventure.
want to say,
Yes,
I really am dying to say who's in the room.
go ahead.
Just dying. Can
Just
I really stand
dying to say
myself?
something.
I am, because Marcy is here.
Oh my goodness! You're just that you wanted to do it first, since I already.
Stand it. I can't believe you didn't do it before the prayer.
I know, I outed
Pray
her.
us in. I'm like,
I outed her on Facebook already.
gosh. So
Yeah.
I'm making room.
For
Making room
Marcy,
because in
just
case,
in case she wants
in
to
case
come
she's
up.
like, I have something I want to say and share, or I just want to be in between Michelle and Jeannie and get a
Right.
hug.
Always.
She may just want a hug. So
No pressure.
in case you want to wonder why we're not sitting together today.
Right. Well, actually, I thought it was so I could put my legs up, but no.
No, it's for
Why
Marcy.
do you have
I don't know
shoes
what
on?
my shoes are on. Hold on.
Lordy, we have a rule around
Oh,
here
I feel so
of
much
no
better.
shoes
Okay.
on the sofa. There we go.
I want the hug.
Is that all I had to say? That's all I had to say was she could get an extra hug.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
This is so impromptu, which is why
Yes.
you didn't see anything on Facebook about it, because it literally just happened today. We were like,
Yes.
seriously.
She came by to pick up her microphone stand, and I said, "Oh, lovely, you'll be here just in time to be on the sofa." And she's like, I'm good when I'm singing, but not so much talking.
Yeah.
Well, then I applied all the
But I like
pressure
when
I
she
could.
said
and
hug,
here
you
she
had
is.
me in hug.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
Okay, I'll sit here for just a minute.
Yeah, just
Okay.
relax.
Okay.
Just relax. You'll just see how we do it. It's
You'll
so
see how we
easy.
do it. It's
so
easy.
easy. It's so
All right,
fun.
so I am going to
She's
read.
gonna read to us now.
Yes, I'm going to read.
Story
Children
time, story
behave.
time.
It's story time. This comes to us from our New Thought Media Network. New Thoughts for Today. It's page 18.
No, it's Anton.
Oh, it is Anton. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
getting
I get them
all of
confused.
you. Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
sorry. Affiliated New Thought Network. Anton. There we go. New Thoughts for Today. It's page 18, and it's called God Bless You. To bless a thing is to fill it with life. It is to enfold it warmly in your thought and feeling and consciously desire its fullest and most beautiful expression. It is to speak the word of good and then to stand silently while the currents of life flow through the patterns of your thought. To bless is to release the hidden life in everything. And it's Irvin Seal, How to Love and Be Loved by Jack and Cornelia Addington. Several years ago, my spiritual center was looking for another congregation to sublease our sanctuary. I spoke with quite a few ministers, and many of whom ended our conversation with, "God bless you." My first thought was, did I sneeze? We don't use this expression very often in New Thought, but consider the richness of this new meaning. To me, the desire to release the hidden life in everything offers the person I am blessing, including myself, the opportunity to express and experience all the qualities that they truly are. God bless you feels really good when I think and speak about the people I love and who love me. The opportunity, because I don't like the word challenge, is to offer the same blessing to those people of different religions or political backgrounds. If I am the beloved of God, and I am, that means they must be too. A Course in Miracles reminds me that everyone and everything leans towards me to bless me. Maybe it's an obvious blessing. Sometimes it's disguised as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to forgive. God bless you. And God bless me, Reverend Dr. Jerry Trower, Religious Science, Mesa, California.
Jerry.
We love Jerry, yes.
And
So,
I love that. I love the thinking about that everyone and everything, well, you see it on your cards, everyone and everything blesses me. And that's a mindset shift because oftentimes things happen and we don't think they're quite blessings.
Right.
Like we in their present state, they might not seem like a blessing depending on how we're reacting to it, right? I've done that many times where I've done something as a bad thing or I didn't like that. And I later on, right, something will happen and I'll be like, oh, that was a blessing. That was something for me because look what happened from now. So it's I like that. I like keeping the mindset of everyone and everything leans toward me to bless me.
yes, I agree. When I think about recent experiences in my life, I had one of those weeks. You ever have one of those weeks? I tried to check in with other astrological signs to find out if it was just cancers. But, I had one of those weeks where it was like everything and everyone was annoying me. That's the card I would have liked to have, and when it comes to things like that, what I find is, well, I'm the common denominator. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah. So like when everybody and everything's annoying me, I may be the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah. So that's the kind of week I was having. And to get to the point of opportunity and blessing has taken some effort. I spend time in prayer and meditation every morning. I spend time with their real love people. I spend time with wise men and wise women filling me up, people that are adding to my life energy field. And it still was a hard week.
Yeah.
And, what I found was there's some things happening in my life that I didn't address, that I wasn't being honest about. And with that caused me to really suck my real love away, like it drained out of me. And when that happened, then I was drained.
You're exposed.
Yeah. So I'm looking for the blessings now on everything, the opportunity to do that. But part of that was getting real and getting honest.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to do the Wednesday Beyond the Sofa is because our old patterns, the way we've always done it, the way our parents did it, the way our teachers, the way the news does it, everything, right? It's always looking at things in that negative way. So it's just so easy to slip back into that. And look, we'll have this card today, like, oh, that's right, everything and everyone blesses me. And we'll run around and something bad will happen, like, oh, you're blessing me. We'll be able to keep that for maybe the rest of the day before something happens and we're back to.
Depends on how long your drive is.
That's right. You have to stay focused. But we always talk about it's such a practice because it does begin within. It begins with us. It's coming from us. Even though it really, really looks like it's coming from out there, we want to go, you did this or that did that. It's really our reaction is the experience we're going to have. So it's this constant keeping that top of mind is the work. Always.
Always, yeah. Well, one of the things, like when you're talking about how we can identify things and say this is bad, and then have to like look for the blessing or the opportunity or whatever you want to, the challenge, whatever you want to call it. You know, like many of you, I've had some physical things happen. And I think physical challenges for me are probably the hardest to find the blessing in because I'm in pain,
Yeah.
right? I'm in pain. Like it's like, oh, how lovely that I'm so blessed with this opportunity to sit on my butt and put my leg up or whatever. So it takes a little bit more for me to find that blessing, you know, when I'm in a situation of pain. You know, and right before our time period together, my assistant, I had to take off Friday. I was in pain. It was one of those days I had to work from home, you know, and my assistant sent me a little, I hope you're feeling better, you know, and I thought that was so nice, you know, and so like the blessing in that is being able to share with people, which is, you know, and the pain I've been in might be part of what was been happening for me too in the last week.
Right.
Because that will
Your edges
delete you. Yeah.
Your nerves are fried.
Yeah. So looking for the blessing in that is I'm working on it. You know, I'm working on finding that because, you know, it's kind of a constant thing right now. And what I do know about that is that with pain, I have learned to be more patient with myself and have more compassion with myself when I can't do the things that my brain says I can. You know, simple things like walk up steps one at a time, you know, things like that. And so having that ability to slow down and have that compassion, that is a new opportunity for me. To really look at that and be able to sink into that, you know.
Give yourself some grace.
Right. And, you know, one of the things with yin yoga, I don't know if anybody, you know, practices that, but with yin yoga, the whole goal isn't about stressing or getting a sensation. It's about finding the edge that's comfortable for you to maintain that pose for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. And when I take that to real life, right, finding that edge of a place that's comfortable for me to maintain for a period of time without stressing myself or other, that is where the balance can come in, you know?
Wow. That's cool. I love that.
You know, when I was, we're kind of going with this topic makes me think of when I was 16, I had my first experience with loss and of a loved one. And my grandfather became ill with, he had pancreatic cancer. And to this day, I don't view cancer the same way I think the majority of people view cancer. And that's because through the process of him, you know, going through what he had to go through and then leaving this world, I was so blessed because so a lot of you don't know me from that long ago, obviously, but when I was a little girl, my grandmother was my thing. Like she was my person. Nobody understood that because she was the meanest person in the entire world. She was the meanest woman, you know, but for some reason as a little girl, I'm like, yeah, well, she's going to love me, damn it. That woman's going to love me. And I broke that surface layer and got in there. And then we just loved each other. It was just so cool. Well, my grandfather was kind of this guy over here. And I was so obsessed with her. I never even noticed this guy. He was a sweet man, you know, he was a big guy, real big burly man, lots of hair everywhere. And he was just this guy, you know, and he played multiple instruments. He was very musical. He played anything that looked like a guitar. So anything that was a guitar-like instrument, that man could play it. And really cool guy. But I didn't know a lot about him because I was always focused on her. And when he got cancer, he said, I had just learned how to drive a car. My mother was very paranoid about me driving, and she wouldn't let me drive a whole lot. And he said, you know, Cheryl, I need Michelle to drive my car while I'm in the hospital so the battery doesn't die. So I think, but I just want her to drive it every day. Like, and he's winking at me like, I got you.
Okay.
And I thought that was like so cool that I, after school, would take that car and go visit him in the hospital. And every time I would go and I would hang out with this man, I learned a little bit more about him. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, it's not my grandmother that went to all my musical things. It's this guy, and he drug her there.
wow.
She had to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't her, it was him. It was him, and it was him, and it was him. And I met this man in such a different way.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful for the 3 months that it took cancer to take him, that I got him for that 3 months. And I remember him saying toward the end, he said, do you think you'll miss me? I said, oh yeah. I said, I'm going to miss you really bad. I'm really grateful that we had this time, because now I will. It would have been different had I not had that moment with him. So I feel like when I think about that, when someone gets diagnosed with cancer, I don't want anybody to get that. That was a horrible experience for him to go through. But what I got, he gave that to me, a gift to me that I would never have had if he had gone fast, if it had been a heart attack, if it had been something else, I would never have gotten that. He would never have gotten that. We had a special time because of something that we would deem bad, So I don't know.
It was a blessing.
Such
yeah.
a blessing, and it still is to this day. I mean, I still think about this man and those moments. I can still repeat them and think about them. And he is, so I think everybody in this room probably believes this way as I do, but he has visited me. He legit visited me one time driving a car, and this man, I felt him.
Of course, while you were driving
I
a
know.
car.
Well, it was, and I remember I drove him somewhere one time. And I was kind of like nervous because I thought, well, we'll see what he thinks. And I took this turn that was a really obnoxious turn to take. And I slowed down, just like they say, 15 miles an hour. And then I did the turn, and he goes, that was perfect. And I was like, so we do have this car thing. But I was driving somewhere one time and actually go to see Reverend Michelle Whittington at this point. And I was driving to go see her for something. And I was thinking about something else. And the answer came from him. And all of a sudden I felt this flood of love coming up through my body. And I remember thinking to myself, what is this? What is that feeling? What is that feeling? And then all of a sudden I felt his presence. And then when it got up to here, it came out my eyes, and I was sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. I'm like, well, thank God Michelle's who I'm going to see, because I'm a mess now. So we had this really amazing connection. So I'm telling you, it's really up to us in a lot of these moments. Not that it's not pain, not that it's not horrible, not that I wanted him to go away, but wow, it was a blessing.
And now I need a tissue.
There you go. How about anybody else? Has anybody else experienced something where the world would say pain, destruction, and you said blessing?
Oh, I see some hands.
There we go. We got Ann and then Cindy.
I remember having a moment years ago after having been in a car accident, and they were, towing the car away, and I had to, follow with the tow truck to get everything out of the car. And I just remember having this moment, and it's probably the first time I ever thought this way. It's like, okay, there's got to be a blessing here. You just don't know what it is yet. And I think, like, what it turned out was that I got a nice big payout from my insurance company. It was like, oh, I could really use that money. But, aside from that, going forward, that was what I would always try to do in a circumstance, and just say, okay, there's got to be a blessing in here. There's a pony in there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that it's something you need to practice, because you snap back to, oh my God, how awful things are, or why did that happen to me? It becomes muscle memory to say, okay, there's got to be somewhere, there's a blessing in here. And right now I'm mad, or I'm hurt, or I'm scared, or I'm in pain, but I know that there's a reason that this happened.
Right.
And not denying that what is really truly you feeling. I'm not saying I love that you brought that up. Like, yeah, it can be painful. I can be angry. I can all these things. and there's got to be a blessing in here. Damn it, right?
Yeah.
Still claim it.
Right. Well, I had a health challenging week as Jeannie had, and I was supposed to have a procedure on Thursday, and I went in and they put me under and everything, but when they got in there, they couldn't. My stomach is so blocked they couldn't do the procedure, and I was mad. I was mad, and I was disappointed. And Ann texts me, "How you doing? I need a baseball bat." In a blank car so I could just smash it to pieces. But I had to feel that before I saw the blessing, and it wasn't until the next day. So I gave myself a full 24 hours to express my emotions and just get it out. And now that I see there is divine timing and there's blessing in divine timing.
Yeah.
But I could not see that the first day.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So
I didn't have a baseball bat, so I sent her a pinata.
Oh,
And she
pinata!
said, that'll keep me out of jail.
Yeah.
I said, but your tribe will bail you out.
No jail for you, Cindy.
You know, I'm just captivated by this reading that you read. Would you mind if I just read it again?
No.
Okay, because I've just never heard it described this way, and it's really moving me. So here's this again by Irvin Seal, How to Love and Be Loved by Jack and Cornelia Addington. To bless a thing is to fill it with life. It is to enfold it warmly in your thought and feeling and consciously desire its fullest and most beautiful expression. It is to speak the word of good and then to stand silently while the currents of life flow through the pattern of your thought. I'm loving this. Flow through the pattern of your thought. To bless is to release the hidden life in everything. And part of why it's striking me as profoundly as it is, the other day I went to, I think it was Staples to, I just moved here, so I'm, going and getting all the things. And I walked in and there was, the guy at the front that says, how can I help you? And so he was there, but with him also was a guy who was clearly irate, and his little, maybe 7 or 8 year old little boy that was kind of crouched into him a little bit. And the man who was irate was just yelling at the Staples representative, and you need to take a customer service class. You need to. And I assessed as well as I could before forming, any opinion. And it was clear to me that this guy was truly being a bully. Whatever the problem was, it wasn't this guy's fault. So I really made sure to, assess what was happening before I jumped in. But when I see that kind of thing happening, I can't not do something. You know what I mean? So I just said, hi. I said, my name's Marcy, and I just noticed that there's such discord here, and I care about both of you and what's happening, and I'm just wondering if maybe you could be a little kinder to him as you're expressing your unhappiness. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, Miss Yoga's walking in the door, like, and I said, I don't even like yoga, really. I said, it just hurts to see what's happening here, because we're all one, and I'm just wondering if there's a better way, Anyway, some things de-escalated, and then some things escalated because he felt suddenly threatened, and he went to the customer service thing, and then he came running, and he's like, oh, this is all about you. You had to go and mess this all up and just make it worse. And I was like, I really, anyway, but I was so jarred by it, but I kept asking this question, like blessing, like blessing. And it wasn't that there was a thing happening that was blessing, but there was something that when I read this, it's like it is to speak the word of good and then stand silently, while the currents of life flow through the patterns of your thought. And I love that I'm seeing this today.
I'm getting
Because I'm just going,
chills.
that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, like silent, you know, and then he's like, oh, I know who you voted for. And I was like, that's so not like,
This poor guy.
And I thought,
Totally right.
you'll do anything to like keep the onus of, you know, I'm just talking about your behavior, you know, anyway, but you know, it is to speak the word of good and then to stand silently while the currents of life flow through the patterns of your thought. And I realized that as I was standing there, like reacting and then, you know, feeling my nervous system do its things and then feeling like the kind of chaos, you know, in my quietness, what I was really aiming for was like, how can I let something else flow through the patterns of my thought right now? And then to bless is to release the hidden life in everything. And I love that because it's not saying to bless is to be like, oh, there's a thing that's really cool for me. It's like, regardless of the appearance, whether it's favorable to us or not, or whatever it appears to be, it's like, how can everything be something that in some way releases the hidden life and everything? And that's where our one life is.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me kind of speak that.
Sure.
I love that you have it.
I hear
It
a
makes
song
some
there,
connections.
Yeah.
That's a good, you should write a song about
Does
that.
that make sense the way I'm
Oh,
saying?
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Can you all relate at all?
Yes,
Are you-
totally.
Yeah, I'm just really moved by this. And thank you, Jerry Troyer, for including
Oh,
it
Sherry,
Yes.
so good.
in your writing on page 18.
Yes.
There's new thoughts for today. And
And Marcy, when you say this, when that man was, you know, responding the way he was responding, right? Have you ever heard of like when you ask somebody, well, why did you do that? And they say whatever it is, and you, well, then why? And why and why and why, right? There's all these layers. So he's just throwing every layer he has of the protection, like, right? Because you were pulling out of him, like you were holding the truth, that space, and allowing him his space to get there. And and you were so authentic in what you were feeling. So you didn't stand there and say, oh, I feel that. Well, you didn't do that. You were authentic, and often every time, the only shot that anybody else has of moving into their truth is if we are authentic and hold the line there. And I really feel like you did that. You know, like I see that in relationships with couples that I've coached over the years, like the one feels this way and the other one is doing whatever. And it's like, well, the only chance that this person has of coming to meet you here is if you are authentic and you hold that space. And that's hard to do. It's scary. It can be scary, can be upsetting, and because they can choose not to.
Right.
He could have chosen to not do that at all. But the only shot he has is if somebody does that, if you do that. And by you honoring, like, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling like I gotta say something, and he could go wherever, but I feel like I have to do it. That's the only chance this other human being had. Because maybe he doesn't have anyone in his life that ever comes around him with that.
And it changed the rest of his
And it
day when he
changed.
didn't see it.
Guarantee you. He thought about that. He's still thinking about it now.
Right.
Because everybody recognizes that truth. You recognize it when you feel it. You may not know what it is, and nobody ever maybe taught you what it was. But you can't deny it when you feel. So for you to be brave enough to hold in your authenticity and your truth and do that, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's obviously why you're on this sofa right now.
Yeah.
That's obviously why this all happened, because of that story is amazing. So yeah.
Yes.
My prayer has just been like, may we all be one, may we all be one, may we all be one. And so it literally, like, it hurt so bad to see this man being treated so badly by this man. And then I'm watching the little boy who's kind of, you know, and so I just wanted to bring something that was like, can we not rip the fabric while we're, you know, ripping each other? I mean, or
Right.
something. It's like, or like, can we stay connected in some way and just do this?
And
in a
when
way
we're
that-
talking about our real love, right? What does somebody look like who doesn't have real love? They look like they're drowning without water, right? So this, in my mind, I see this man, and to me, if you took the words away and you just watched his movements, he'd look like he was drowning without water. This is a man that doesn't have anybody with a real love connection, and he's just,
Or he lost it in that
or
moment.
something, yeah.
right,
And
because-
you just
yeah.
put some there that he, I mean, it's an incredible story. I love that you had that experience and brought that up. That's really
Way to
cool.
go, Miss Yoga.
Miss Yoga.
I love that.
I love
Right.
how you said, I don't even like yoga, but anyway.
It is funny though, like when we talk about the authenticity, the level of vulnerability that comes with be authentically yourself and speaking up
Yeah.
on that. Like this year, my mantra is speak up, stand out, shine on. That's my mantra, right? And that speaking up is a difficult thing to do, you know, because there could be the confrontation. We could receive back something that is scary. It's a vulnerable place to be. And so thank you for sharing that with
Yeah,
us.
you bet.
Yeah.
And what's also cool about it is that in the days since, you know, I mean, I've thought about it numerous times, and again, about that thing about the hidden life. It's like, as I've thought about it, it's giving me these little opportunities to say, like, well, first I was like, oh, I wish I'd said this, or, you know, and, you know, for the parts of me that have a hard time speaking up sometimes, which I've mentioned to you guys happens when I get in front of a camera, but I'm working on it, you know, but for the parts of me that sometimes have a hard time speaking up, it was like, oh, I wish I'd said that. And even with the kind of like gumption and fire and like, oh, I wish I'd said it, you know, perfect comeback, you know,
Yeah.
so there was that piece, which is like, oh, that's a piece that actually needs to be strengthened in my character. Like if you know self-defense, then you don't have to use it. You know what I mean? Or if you know you had the perfect comeback, then you didn't have to say it, you know? So it's like, oh, okay, I thought of it. Cool, you know? And now I won't ever use that next time, but at least I have it, you know? And then, but then it was like, but then another layer was just like, you know, how could I have made eye contact with the little boy better, or could I have winked, you know, to be like, I gotcha, you know, or and so all of those things and the learnings are doing something to bring forth more of the hidden life of good in me as I think about it. So the blessing continues despite what the actual scenario was in how it's like, what is the opportunity for the hidden life to become more of the manifest life?
Right.
So like, I'm really glad that it happened.
Right. The hidden life
Yeah.
flowing through our thoughts.
Yeah.
How many times in a new thought world have you heard your thoughts become things, right?
Amen, sister.
And that's,
Yeah.
you know, such an amazing remembrance, or, you know, opportunity to think about how when we give that, you know, space to ourselves, to others, for that hidden life to flow.
Yeah. And if it's essentially kind of like a pattern within us, then my continuing to reflect on it is doing something to change the pattern of me. So the next time that kind of a situation comes up, it's like there'll be a pattern that's been refined and crystallized in like a kind of new sacred geometry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Underlying
totally.
how I show up next time. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
bring it. I love that.
And I think it's a really cool experience also because you felt a way about it and you honored that. I think a lot of times when we talk about this in the real love class that we're doing too, about how often that we're upset at the other person, but if we, like Byron Katie says, you can't actually be upset at somebody else, you're upset at yourself. Well, if that's true, then what am I upset about? Well, I'm upset because I didn't say the thing I needed to say, or I didn't honor myself in that moment, or I didn't say what my needs were, and I let them walk all over me. Now I'm mad at them. Well, no, I'm really mad at myself for not saying the thing. So in your moment there, you said the thing, which is awesome, to just at least step forward and say the thing, whatever is on your heart to say, because that's the heart. I think the hardest step. But once you're in it, now that patterning of how do I move through that now. But wow, I'm going to be thinking about your story for a while. I really love it.
But I bet everybody in this room has a story like that. And
Totally.
I'm so curious if there is anything that is coming to anyone to share,
Any other sharing?
or online. Is there a way to?
Is there,
check
yeah,
that?
we can check. Is there any, let's see, who's watching us online? We've had quite a few people this morning. Reverend Brock Ford's been on. Like Amy's in the room and watching online.
Look at
Thanks,
you,
Amy.
Amy.
Hi, Evie.
Abby.
Evie had to work today, so
Yes.
yeah. But I can't tell who exactly is on currently. My daughter's online. And Melissa, Reverend Missy's on.
Missy.
Hi,
So-
Missy.
Surprise me.
Is there,
We're reading from this book today.
right? Reverend Missy loves this book. I'm in this class right now, studying the New Thoughts for Today book. So
We read from this book every day,
Yeah,
every
so-
Sunday. Yeah,
every
that's our
Sunday.
thing. And Missy, many a
Oh,
time, is our reader.
And Laura's here. She says, so our question online and in the room, does anybody have a story of that life flowing through, that hidden life flowing through your thoughts? A way that came across in something you've done. Look, I'm talking into my phone as if you, yeah, okay, you guys got me. Oh, we have somebody in the room there.
I had an experience this last week where my job was on Thursday to prepare the CEO of my client to be ready to find out the next day that he wasn't CEO anymore. And my business partner kept saying, I know this is putting a lot on you, but I know that you will say things in a way that he will walk away feeling empowered. It's like, okay, thanks, that's good. So I had the conversation with the guy. I said, some of this isn't going to be fun. I kept my humanity and his in mind. I told him I'm keeping our humanity in mind, and talked about the things that needed to change. I did not specifically tell him that his title was changing. The next day at the meeting, my business partner said, I'm not coming into the room until we're starting the meeting. I don't want him to talk to me before the meeting. So of course, I got to be there.
Nice.
Where he told me, yes, there were some things that were hard to hear. He said, but that was a wonderful conversation I had with you. The next thing that happened in the meeting was he identified to my business partner. So it seems like it makes sense for me to move from the CEO role to energy consultant. And Michael was like, that's a great idea, which is exactly what we wanted to happen.
Nice.
So,
Love
so for me, the message in that, the blessing was in it being about our humanity.
Right. I love it. There.
I have an online one. Can I read that one real quick? So Laura spoke up and she said she's currently going through not being able to be mobile. I thought that I would just take the time to use this to find the best productive ways to get my joints replaced. I need 2 new knees and 2 new shoulders, and I have a long road ahead of me. And I trust that there are many blessings I have growing through all of this. Absolutely.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Sharing.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Well, a few years back, and I was going through another health challenge, and I had to have help grocery shopping. And one of the congregants from CLF went with me grocery shopping, and we came out, and there was a lady surrounded by paramedics, and she was fighting it all the way. They couldn't get oxygen, they couldn't get her to settle down, they couldn't get her anything. And I just raised my hand and I said, may the comfort and love of God surround you in this moment right now. You are safe.
Mm.
And she instantly stopped fighting. And they were able to do the oxygen and all the rest of that. And the girl next to me that went with me, she goes, Cindy, you did that. And I go, I know, and let's hurry before they burn me as a witch.
And that's what happens when a congregate care person, a congregate care reverend.
It's in your presence.
Yeah.
That's right. Love you.
Absolutely
thanks for
great.
sharing.
Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Oh, we got one over here.
Love it.
So I started working with a new 4-year-old at my job, and reading through his case, he's just terrified of strangers. So before I pulled up and met with him in his house, I took a moment to center myself, and I see Grandma pull up, and this young man's not even getting out of the car. He's so scared because he knows I'm there. So I get out and I say to Grandma, why don't you just have him go in the house and play? You and I can talk for a little bit, and he can get settled down. So most of our visit, about 3/4 of it, he was hiding behind the recliner in the living room. And I'm still just having a conversation with him. I'm asking about the cars. And eventually he feels comfortable enough that he comes out and he sits down next to me. So it's just amazing if you balance your energy and you don't force it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Melanie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, balance your energy.
Balance it.
Yeah, I really feel that with you.
What are you thinking, Jeannie?
I
can
just,
see it.
I know,
She's
right?
like,
Well, I was just like, what a blessing this whole experience today has been for me. Thanks for being here for me, folks. You know, one of the things that has been happening for me in that is that the balance of energy, like Melanie spoke about, like just being able to be there as a witness for myself through my emotions, right? Because you never want to spiritually bypass, but man, I have stuff to do. You know, like, so sometimes having all that emotion is inconvenient, right? Like, I'm like, okay, you hang on here. I got things to do. My emotions don't like to run away from me. They like to stay with me.
Yeah.
They're real fans of me. They like to be there, coming out my eyeballs all the time. And so just having this, this topic today, having you here today, and having everyone here, this presence here today, like I can feel the energy of unconditional love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that is really palpable here. And wow. So I guess that's what I was thinking as I was sitting here. I was like, whoosh, like you can feel it wash over you. And not that I don't feel that on other Sundays, but today it's very noticeable. So that's what I
love all the
got
love.
there.
We love
I
love.
love love.
I love love. Yeah, it feels good.
It does.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Yes. How's everyone feel? We feel complete?
Complete.
Nice.
All
Oh, so
right.
good. Jeannie, would you please pray us
Michelle.
out?
Michelle. So again, if it's comfortable for you, I ask you to close your eyes. And in this space, this space of hidden life flowing through us, our thoughts, this room, this air, our breath, our heart, knowing that there is only one life, one heartbeat, one breath. That is me. That is Marcy. That is Michelle. That is everyone in this room, online and beyond, people that hear us now and at another time. That this is all there is. This effervescent God stuff that we are made of is moving and having its being as us right here, right now. So I speak my word into this law, knowing that the highest and best good is already happening, that this is already done in the divine mind, and that I send blessings to leaders and teachers of all faiths everywhere, knowing that in whatever moment they are in, with their constituents, with their congregants,
that they are bringing this unconditional love, that they are feeling this, and that each person, this individuation of God, knows to the best of their being who and whose they are. That we love only, and we forgive everything, and we remember who we are. This is the moment that continues this love. And for this, I am so grateful. I'm grateful for this time together, for this space, for this prayer. I let it go and I call it good. And together we say,
And
so it
is.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie.
Wow. Thank you so much for going past your fear.
I just came to pick up a mic stand that I
Right.
went to yesterday and the sweatshirt that I woke up in.
Surprise! I know. It's just so amazing. You know, one, I really love giving people who normally have to sing at spiritual get-togethers the opportunity to show who they are on the inside besides their song. You know, I love your voice. I love your song. And I love your heart. And thank you for sharing that on the sofa with us.
Thank
That
you.
really means a lot to me.
It means so much to be here with you all. I've wanted to check this out for so long.
I
and,
know.
and your gift of gab is like nothing else on this planet. And I love it. And I love your all
Thank
banter.
you.
It's great to be here.
Thank you so
So
much.
good to share with all of you in the room and all of you in the online room. And yay.
Yay.
Marcy.
I love that you're our first guest on our New Thought Media Network
That's
replay.
right.
So,
that's right.
yeah.
She's our first guest
That's
on New Thought
amazing.
Network. That's wonderful.
Look online for Mercy Baruch.
That's right.
We had her
So
here first.
we had her here first,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Surprise!
And how can we support you?
So how you can support us? Thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking.
You can go to beginwithinministries.com, and online donations are always welcome and appreciated. You can give a one-time gift. You can donate as an individual or as a partnership or family monthly. For an individual, it's $45. For a family or partners, couple is $75. So we appreciate all that. And we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you sharing us, participating in our Facebook group, being around, but mostly, as Anne likes to say, we appreciate your hugs. So come in,
Come on down.
come see us at, we're at the Unleash Your Life Studios. We forgot to say that this
I
morning.
know. We were so
'Cause we
excited
were-
about Marcy.
We were so excited about
I
Mars,
know,
we
so
forgot
sorry.
everything. Yeah.
We're at the home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's practice. We're at Unleash Your Life Studios, and you can check out what she has going on here. She's got a lot of good stuff going on here at unleashyourlife.us. Everything's right there for you. But yes, please share us, like our feed, heart our feed, all that stuff. Let's Facebook know that we got something great going on here. We could have special guests like this. You just
Yeah.
never know, but they'll share us because they'll know that. So that's a great way to help or become a partner with us with your monthly donations. That's wonderful because the more partners we have, the more we can do for our partners.
Yes. So
And a special
we
thank
so
you to Miss
appreciate-
Lyric Davis, our sound tech,
Yay.
our backstage person extraordinaire for learning the new system just
Yes.
today.
Just
And
today,
had us-
moments
had us going-
before we
moments
started.
before. She did a great job this morning. So thank you, Lloyd, for being here this morning. We'll see how your brother does next week.
There we go.
Mhm.
There we go.
All right, so you can put on the exit video, and then
Yes.
we'll see you all next
We'll see you next week. Bye.
And there it goes.
All right. Well, let her mute us first.
Let's just gotta start the video. All right.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time, or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.